You see, the thing about gamers is we're people too. Sometimes those corporations forget that when they make these multi-million dollar pieces of trash. I've been playing games my whole life, and one thing I know for certain as a gamer, there's expectations we have when we buy a game, there's expectations we have when we play the game. Sometimes the companies don't know what that is. Today, I'm here explaining that not only for the companies, but for people that don't understand the fulfillment in gaming. Gaming as a whole, for me, has always been about filling a certain need. And there's a sense of adventure I have as a young man, and even as a young lad, I've had this sense of adventure in my heart to explore new worlds and discover things and unravel mysteries and stories, you know. It's something that I've had a deep love for. I can't be an archaeologist. I guess I could, but I'd rather talk about video games on the internet. It's so much safer here in my house rather than, you know, being the Tomb Raider myself. I'd much rather just play the story. The needs of a gamer. Two major needs. The first need is a story. Why are we doing this? What is happening? Somebody make sense of it all. And the second need is gameplay. Exciting. Make it good. Those two needs determine your audience. There is games that have really good gameplay and exciting story, like Skyrim, like, you know, Fallout, things like that. I love those stories. I think they're great, especially New Vegas. But then there's games that don't require a story. Games that don't need a story at all because their gameplay is so good, like Helldivers. No story there. Aliens, we're fighting to liberate the world, the universe from aliens. Real concise. I think it's a great premise. That's why I fight for democracy.
Say hello to democracy!
Exciting gameplay is something that is repetitive, but not too repetitive. Like a consistency, but not something that's constantly changing that you can't keep up with. Balancing that is always a struggle, especially if your game is designed for new gamers or old gamers. That is a big difference. If there's people that are new to gaming, don't want a platformer. You know what I'm gonna say? Mario. Put Mario in that bit because they didn't need help with Mario. And that's really it. I think exciting gameplay is the main thing for me because I'm playing the game for a reason. If I wanted to watch a movie, I would watch a movie. But with that being said, when games have super dynamic cutscenes and beautiful story, it makes me more drawn in. There's a lot of games like that, and of course my brain is blanking the very moment I need to talk about it. But one thing I will say, for my man back here giving me help, Batman had phenomenal games. The Batman Arkham series were amazing games because the story was good, the gameplay was good. When you did things in the game, it felt like it mattered for the story, not like, why are we doing this? Why couldn't we just done this instead? You know, it all made sense and it was concise. That's why the game got reviews. But aside from gameplay and story, there is more to, is the game worth the money? Especially because nowadays games are $60, $70, $80 depending, and they're trying to get you to buy the $200 version of the game that comes with a real life cat. But aside from that, the games are worth it in some cases. In other cases, they're not. What determines if a game's worth it to me or not is the life expectancy of the game. How many hours am I gonna get? If I'm gonna play the game for less hours than dollars I spend, it's not worth it to me. The only reason why I have that opinion is because I play mobile games. Games on my phone. I pay nothing and I can play this game for hours and hours and hours. Now, some games are designed to have a good gameplay loop. Roguelikes, those kinds of games you can really sink time into and unravel a story in a different way. RPGs, they want you to go on a side quest and learn all about this character that does not matter and all about their struggles and trials and tribulations and help them out for nothing to do with the story because it's its own story within a story. You see, it's like a storyception. It's multiple stories to the story. Like it was a building. Think about a building, right? There's stories to the story. I personally think post-game content is very, very important if it's a story-driven game. If it is a single-player story-driven game and there's no post-game content, you have wasted my money. I'm looking at you, Dragon Age 2. Ruined my life. At the end of Dragon Age 2, I was absolutely defeated. Dragon Age is a beautiful testimony of a great story and great gameplay and a beautiful world. And at the end of the game, you're locked in a castle like a princess. I don't know why they did that to that game. If you think about it real hard and you make a masterpiece of a game, and this game is so perfect, why play anything else? This product is detrimental to your bottom line. You are selling this thing one time. That game better be worth $1,000 like Magic the Gathering packs on the 30th anniversary. And even then, you make more packs. You know why? Because somebody's gonna want to buy it. The issue comes in for me when I feel like my needs are not acknowledged. If we're making a game that's about adventure and exploration and discovery, and there's a linear story with 5 unique items, this is not the game you promised me. You've set me up for failure. Now, I will say when I was younger, watching videos about games on YouTube was much different than it is now because it was just people playing the game. Now it's people critiquing the game, saying actually everything that happens in the game, and even the trailer will spoil it for you what's going to happen all the way through because people have this immediate need that needs to be satiated in the first 5 seconds or they'll click away from the video. The main problem I have with the games that I'm paying for now is that sometimes the negativity around the game will cloud the judgment of the people enjoying the game. Is it fun? Yes. Is the story good? Yes. Does it have a good life expectancy and high replayability? If the answer is yes, then it's a phenomenal game. 10 out of 10 IGN review for me. Now, I'm in the minority here. If a game has a lame story but amazing combat and awesome post-game content, I'll play that game forever because it's not about the story. I'm a gameplay-oriented gamer. That's why I game so much and never watch movies. At the end of the day, I think there is a certain expectation when you go to the movie theaters, and that same expectation is in gaming as well. I don't know what company needs to hear this, but I think that we can do better. I understand it's laborious, extensive work, super complicated to do this and that, but just take the time needed. I would rather wait 5 years for another game I really enjoy than get multiple pieces of trash over and over and have an incomplete whole. Destiny. The gameplay of Destiny was good enough to keep me cultivated for long enough. And I said cultivated because that game is a cult. That is all it is. If you still play Destiny, you are in a cult and you need to leave. Trust me, there's better games out there. I play trading card games too. I'm a gamer. That's a game. The story of Magic the Gathering is so confusing and convoluted, but also makes perfect sense. At the same time, the gameplay is super fun and there's a lot of post-game content. It's the whole game. There's no story mode. It's just multiplayer. And it's super, super fun. I love Magic the Gathering. But the issue with Magic is that it's getting complicated. More complicated because of the interactions of the cards over the many years in the past and the cards that are coming out in the future. The gameplay is good enough to make all those other things kind of fade away into the background. I kind of wanted to just talk about this because sometimes the expectations of a game releasing perfectly, it's just hard to find. I remember when Elden Ring came out, game of the year, undoubtedly a phenomenal game. Some would say a perfect game. When that game came out, I was working in the computer industry and I was fixing people's computers. And let me tell you how many computers that game blew up when it came out. Many. Needless to say, that can be expected for any game. There's things that can be overseen with how many different computers are running the games. Well, guys, I did say a lot of things today, but one thing I will say is I think we can all agree that the gaming industry is a phenomenal thing and we all love playing video games, but there's some room for improvement. I think that in the future, we'll see a lot of these things being implemented with companies like Larian Studios that just take their time to release a game and it becomes a masterpiece. You know, Ice Cube said, great things take time. Remember that. And I will. And you remember that watching this video. Because one day, this channel is going to be great. I think it's great right now. It's going to be even better. If you like this video, leave a like. If you like me, subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about what I just said, leave it in the comment section below. I love you guys. I'm out.